Hola, bon dia, Carl Munson here. Just let me make sure we've got some sound here. Yes, we do. Good morning to you. How are you this morning? We are here with the Good Morning Portugal show from expatsportugal.com. Lovely video there from Castanheira de Pita, as I call him, Castanheira de Pera in central Portugal, carrying on our theme from yesterday, celebrating the wonders of central Portugal. Castanheira de Pera there, really wonderful central Portuguese town. And Pete sent that wonderful video of a sunny day in winter. And looking out of my window, it's feeling like that this morning. Apart from my gloom and doom yesterday, renaming Portugal as P-O-U-R, Portugal, with this constant rain here, is a let up. And we'll have a little, let me have a quick look at the weather before we look at some good news. I suppose it's all relative, really, isn't it? But some favourable light at the end of the pandemic tunnel, possibly here in Portugal. But I just want to check because the rain forecast was for days on end, and it still is. So the forecast is looking like that pretty much wherever you look in Portugal. A forecast for rain most days for most of the rest of this week. We are, of course, where are we now? Are we segunda? Quarta-Feira, Wednesday, 3 February. So, yes, still looking pretty rainy. However, the actual weather forecast out the window, or my weather observation, not forecast, as I see it now, in the moment, living in the moment, looking at the weather of the moment, sunny on the vineyards outside my window. So that's really beautiful. Lots of lovely good mornings coming in. Let me know how things are in your part of the world, not just weather-wise. How are you doing? Are you keeping your chin up? Are you struggling a bit? It's fine to say whichever. And this Good Morning Portugal, Expats Portugal community will put their virtual arms around you and give you a virtual hug this morning if you need it. Hola, bon dia from a dry thus far. Nice caveat there, Elsa. Morning in North Wales there. Good morning to you, Elsa. Mark Jones over in Australia. Good morning, Carl. It's very good of you to translate like that, presuming it's well into the evening for you over there, Mark, or down under there. Good morning from Lisbon, from Riesel. Good morning to you, Riesel. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Sean Maguire, man of the moment yesterday, shared his beautiful home on our new feature, Through the Quinta Keyhole, yesterday with Sean and Paul. And good morning to you, Sean. Really nice of you, kind of you, to let us have a nosy round your house. I don't know if you've had any offers yet. Let us know. Joseph, good morning, everyone. Joseph Marsh over there in Fundão. What's the weather like in Fundão? I imagine when the sun shines on Fundão, you get a sense of spring there, looking out across that marvellous vista from your house. Excuse me, Joseph, all is well with the world. Let us know, Joseph. Lots of love to your family and the new baby there. You must be all having a lot of fun over there in Fundão. Bon dia, Carl. Grey and glooming here in the compost heap that is Kent. All right, you haven't left yet, Pete. There's no need to be like that about it. The Garden of England, for those of you who don't know, that's what Kent is known as, the Garden of England. And some say parts of it are the compost heap of the Garden of England. Well, I would never say something like that. Leave that sort of outrage to Pete. Over there. Louise, bon dia all. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you as well, Louise. Great to have your company this morning. How are you? Up in Porto, Portugal, Joel saying bon dia to us. Sorry, yeah, I know, Pete. Sorry, Carl, didn't catch that. Can you say February in Portuguese again? Fevereiro. Yeah, maybe. It's so difficult. I just sort of say that into a slightly awkward vacuum and just wait and hope that Filomena isn't watching. Bom dia, Londres está com chuva. That's a little bit easier for me. So London has the rain, is my guess with that. Chuva is rain. Chover probably is the verb to rain. So it's raining in London. Nick, I believe, married to a Portuguese. So getting a direct translation and practicing his Portuguese this morning. Very good, Nick. Needs to stop raining because I need to trim my bush. Oh, God, Gary. Sorry, Peter. It's been warm and sunny here in Queensland, about 30 degrees. All right, Mark, stop it. You've got spiders and snakes. We've already established that. You're allowed a little bit of good weather every now and then. We got spiders and snakes here as well, but not like you guys have got, obviously. Good morning, Jacqueline. Hello. Good morning from the wet days. Good morning, Jacqueline. Lovely to have your company this morning, and it's a good moment for me to mention that Jack and I will be back together on the airwaves, on the YouTube waves, this Friday evening at 8 o'clock. We're launching the new program together, where actually, quite sort of prescient and appropriate for me, a show of a philosophical, a spiritual nature, life, death, and everything in between. We've called it, where with the elder of this community, Jacqueline Mary Brown, we look at such matters together on a spin-off show that we're doing on a Friday night before I get drunk in the man cave. All of life is there on Friday night. But good morning to you, Jacqueline, Donna Jacqueline. Bon dia from Cabanas de Tavira, where we have some rain forecast later. Really? Still keeping to the rules. Well done, Paul. And we'll come back to the rules and the impact that seems to be having. With any luck, we don't really know what's doing it, do we? Just got fingers crossed, hope for the best, follow the rules, and get the numbers down that the officials take their cue from, so that we can live life more freely and joyously again. Although, having said that, we despite circumstance, we can still be joyous, can't we? But it makes it a whole lot easier when we're not. For me, walking up and down the street here in Anadia, not walking, driving, when I drive to the shops, and I'm seeing these taped up benches, that sticks in my craw. Bon dia, Carl, and everyone from a very rainy Wiesbaden, Germany. We live close to the Rhine, and in our village, the main highway along the river is flooded. Oh, crikey, Jim, that sounds a bit grim over there. Stay safe, my friend, in Germany there. Rizel. Oh, okay, so I wasn't pronouncing that correctly. Surprise, surprise. I used to think myself quite a cunning linguist, but I get so much of this so wrong. So Rizel Furtado. Thank you for correcting me on that, Rizel. Dull right now in Fundal, but I've seen a bus of blossom or two. So spring is on the horizon. Is that a technical term, a bus of blossom, or a bush of blossom? Not unlike a burst of. He's corrected himself here. I thought I'd have taken that, a bus of blossom, as some sort of almost literary alliteration, and that's what it would be called in a Laurie Lee poem. I looked upon the bus of blossom, but no, it's a burst of blossom, everybody. Thank you for correcting that, Joseph. Yes, sounding lovely. Spring is on the horizon. Well done, Joseph. Thank you for being the herald of spring. Ginny Austin. Good morning, Carl. Haha. My comment about being able to stay till the end of the show yesterday was not a reflection on your show. Yeah, but I mean, many come, but few remain the course as we go on till 10 and 11 and midday. Ginny, it's true. Not a reflection on the show, but because my work constraints allowed it. So please carry on. I love listening in when I can. I hope to stay until the end again today. No offense was taken there, Ginny. I didn't even realize that might have been insulting, but now I feel differently. Now I do feel a little bit hurt. Only kidding. Jenny, stick around. You're very welcome this morning. Oops. Rizel. Oh, my goodness. So third go, Rizel. I'm going to go with Rizel, and I'm looking for a thumbs up emoji from you, Rizel. Unless, of course, we go for it for a fourth time. Bon dia, alegre. Bon dia, alegre. Bon dia, alegria. To a typical Ericeira morning where the breaking sun tempts you to do laundry, and just when it's hung, it rains. Yes, it's such a poetic morning this morning, isn't it? A bit of domestic poetry there. That's almost like a haiku, isn't it? Breaking sun tempts you to do the laundry. Just when it's hung, it rains. That is a haiku, I think, or very close to. Nice one, Gail. Good morning to you. Donna is here as well. Eventually, you will be Donna, won't you? Look far too young for that sort of thing at the moment, though. Bon dia from an unusually cold terceira, from Ericeira to terceira. No, terceira. Hank Stelica, good morning. California, that's really easy to say. Bon dia, friends from California. And yes, of course, let me just put that in the on the screen there. It is Wednesday, which means, of course, Quarta-Feira, everybody, but it means, of course, that it is Ask Anything About Portugal. Forgot to mention that whilst knee-deep in lovely comments and not questions yet, but comments and greetings this morning from you lovely folks. Bon dia, friends from California, from Hank. Bit late this morning, Hank. He's usually banging on the door. First question, though. He wasn't first on the screen, but he's first with the questions. Are pet ferrets a thing in Portugal? Hank, did you want to bring your ferrets? Is that what I'm reading in between the lines here? I can't say. I mean, I've lived in Yorkshire, which I believe is the global capital of pet ferreting. And I haven't seen it. I haven't been to that many, traditional Portuguese homes and houses. So they haven't really noticed that Grandad's, got his shed and he's got his ferret cages and stuff like that. Actually, when I was a kid and lived in Bristol, in what was Somerset then, I think people used to keep pet ferrets there, and of course in Yorkshire, renowned for it. But don't know of it of a thing in Portugal. But I'm sure we're going to get an answer to that question from some of the Portuguese people this morning. That's the beauty of a Wednesday morning, is that we have lots of Portuguese, authentic, real Portuguese people here, laughing at our questions. And like I said before, there's no such thing as a silly or stupid question on here, except for that one, and you know which one I mean. And so I'm sure Portuguese people who watch this are, fruit fly central again. Sorry, Caroline, I haven't implemented your protocol yet. Been a bit busy around here, but still got the fruit fly plague here. I'm sure the Portuguese, the true native Portuguese people do giggle a little bit and smile and smirk at some of our questions, but ask them anyway. I mean, that's how we're going to find out things, isn't it? And this is the first and most excellent question from Hank there. Are pet ferrets a thing in Portugal? And I want to know if he's trying to, bring his ferrets over and wants to fit in. Thanks for that, Hank. Bon dia from Caroline, who very kindly sent me a fruit fly. We did set up a few traps, actually. It's probably just a matter of tinkering with the recipe now, isn't it? And then actually, when I was brushing my teeth and being attacked by a fruit fly earlier on, I thought to myself, a truly human approach would be to bring a predator in and then have to bring another predator in and then another one, and then you end up as like the old woman who swallowed a fly, or like the aging geezer who swallowed a fruit fly. I don't know why he swallowed it. Well, I do know why he swallowed a fruit fly. That's Mrs. M's indoor growing experiment that's at the heart of that. But I thought, okay, we'll get spiders, and then the kids will be afraid of the spiders, so we'll have to get something for the spiders. And then you end up, getting rodents. Oh, ferrets. That's, of course, the connection is made. We'll get ferrets. And to get the thing that gets the fruit fly, and then we need something for the ferrets. We need to get Hank round to get the ferrets. Anyway, so we'll just put up with the fruit flies for now. Rizel, here we go. Fevereiro. That's easy. What was the problem? Fevereiro may help the pronunciation. I'm learning as well. Fevereiro. That's great. Thank you, Rizel. Oh, so Furtado, I thought that was a Portuguese name. I thought you were a native Portuguese person. But Fevereiro, I'm learning. Are you learning how badly people like me pronounce your language, or are you learning Portuguese yourself? Very interesting. We have incoming on the WhatsApp. Do you remember we had a flurry? I mean, mainly Owen, bless him, and Doug sent us some marvellous rainbow impersonations as well. He sent some class material. We do have a message. And I wonder, I can't see. Is this Doug this morning? Dare I give this a spin? It could be anything. But I'm going to. Here we go.
Bom dia, friends from California. This is the governor. You've got to get to Portugal. You've got to do it. Go now. Get on the plane. Do it. Do it.
Oh, I'm glad I played it. I take my life, my professional, reputational life in my hands when I play an unheard message. But that was really, really good. Thank you, Arnold Schwarzenegger from California this morning, encouraging people to travel when safe, but urging people to get to Portugal. Excellent. Like all of life, at every level of celebrity is here this morning. Very, very good. Fevereiro, thank you very much, Rizel. Portugal does have venomous snakes. The difference is they don't kill you, but they do work in Parliament. Oh, bit of politics there. Very good, Joel. Very good. They don't kill you. It's just a slow torture there. Bon dia from Devon, from Penny. The sun is peeping through the grey clouds. Yay, I have my hypnotherapist hat on today. Look into her eyes. She hates that, I'm sure. Any hypnotherapist had really... really had a lot of trouble, didn't they, from that sketch? Look into my eyes. No, not around my eyes, in my eyes. With 8 Zoom sessions starting at 9:30. So I shan't be able to listen to the whole show. Wow, happy hump day, everyone. So there you go. there might be an embedded command or a little bit of a sort of cryptic uplift in Penny's little message there. I'm going to take that. I feel hypnotherapized and energized by your message, Penny. There, you're already firing on all hypnotherapy cylinders, I reckon. Have a great day, Penny. She, of course, of our wine club. So on Thursday, Frank, wonderfully, love you, Frank. He stepped in with a Douro wine, I think, called, what is it called? Presidencia, or it's got a really lovely name. I made up the tile for it only yesterday, actually, but I can't remember. If someone else from the wine club is aware of that and can let me know, that would be great. Just pop the name in. It's for anybody who wants to go out and buy that when they're doing their shopping. Penny has been on a dry January and rejoins the drinking ranks now we're into February on Thursday with a Douro red. Hank Stelica, I think so. I wished I had one. Oh, a ferret. So it looks like people do keep ferrets in Portugal, and he wishes he had one. Does Joel? Love your sanguine comments there, Joel. Yes, sanguine. What a great word. Bon dia from Julia Centemeri, who was, of course, here on a feel good Friday when we did some wonderful laughter yoga with Joanna Banana. And that's such a good episode. I'm surprised that hasn't been a YouTube sensation. It was hilarious. It's a strange irony about our YouTube channel. And often the Feel Good Friday titled videos don't get many viewers. Why is that? Is there some sort of cancellation of Feel Good on YouTube? I know I've said it so many times. YouTube will be listening, and it may affect the performance of this video. Yes, it's one of those strange social media things. Anyway, moving on, but bon dia to you, Julia. I imagine would recommend that we sniff on something citrusy to lift our spirits, perhaps. Louise, that question is so random about ferrets. All will make sense. Rizel is correct pronunciation. Yay! Fevereiro. I'm going for it. Bon dia from snowy in Maryland. Oh, I got a lovely comment on YouTube yesterday saying, I wish I was back in Portugal complaining about the rain like you guys. This is somebody who was digging themselves out of snow in the United States. Bless them. And yeah, so great to receive your comments on YouTube. So if you are watching on YouTube later, anything that's you've been delighted by, do leave us a comment. Anything you've been offended by, I don't know, scroll on. Wow, that's a lot of sessions. Good luck with those. From Fiona to Penny. Didn't know there was another hypnotherapist in the group. Check it out. What is the collective noun of hypnotherapists, everybody? Does anyone have any evidence of the eagles in this country predating? Is that the right way I say predating on kittens or cats? Only I've been adopted by another heavily pregnant cat. I guess chastity, as we called her, wasn't her strong point. Yeah, Jimmy Choo is a hostage to his hormones at the moment. He's only just a year old, and there is a lady dog who is also sort of hormonally high at the moment. And he's a different fella. He's really getting into his teenage years. I mean, talk about spring and being on the horizon and so on. In the animal kingdom, it's all starting to happen. The sap is rising. But it is a strange question, Gary. But you don't want to be seeing an eagle carrying off your little kitten, do you, into the skies above Alfa Azura? Friends in Devon used to breed pigs, and they said that buzzards used to get in the barns, and they did see a piglet being carried away by a buzzard squealing into the distance, which is pretty grim, isn't it? So again, another question hanging there. All questions of a sort of to do with the animal kingdom this morning. Do you keep ferrets in Portugal? And might eagles carry away kittens? It's very sort of cheerful as well, isn't it? Head gardener's here, everybody. Getting here late again. Good morning, people from Lee McGrady. And I was talking to Anna and John, who are part of the Get Out and Grow project, where we're trying to encourage people to grow food in the lockdown. At least get out in your garden or your balcony and grow a bit of food. We have a group, Get Out and Grow, Happy Homesteaders. And it occurred to me and to Anna and to John that you are like the Peter Rabbit gardener, but you're Mr. McGrady. Watch out, here comes Mr. McGrady and all the rabbits scarper. Is that what happens in your garden, Lee? Hank, I used to have a student who brought pet ferrets to school every day. He was great and went on to a degree in agriculture. Nice. but you could smell him coming from 2 corridors away. This is the thing, isn't it, with ferrets? They are a little bit on the pongy side. Mrs. M thinks having 2 dogs is bad enough. She doesn't like the smell of dog. And she knows when I've been petting the dogs. I was going to say intimately, but I don't want to start rumors of that kind on the show. You know when you give your dogs a cuddle, the dog lovers don't care about that, do they? But then I go and hug Mrs. M. She's like, "Oh, have you been hugging the dog again?" And Jimmy Choo or Peggy Poo, over here in Anadir. So I'm thinking, the ferrets are out for me. As well. I do like to hug a chicken as well, but again, I don't want to start any dangerous rumors. Bon dia but chickens they've got that slight ammonia thing going on sometimes, but they're not quite as whiffy as dogs. Bon dia from Cintra's farming family. Druba would know a thing or two about hugging chickens, I expect, and ducks. Good morning to you, Druba. How are you this morning? How's life in your garden? Love to see some more pictures, mate, of your garden in Cintra. Amazing plot that man keeps. Gilda's here, everybody, from A Migrante or EI Migration Services, read literally. The friends from California won't go to sleep without listening to you, says Gilda. Hank is like, we've turned his world around. This is the start of his day now, and then he has a big snooze and gets up again and has another day in America. It's amazing. Good morning to you, Gilda. Busy at the moment, I know. Rizel, the families that hunt will have them. Okay, so there you go. We're solving the mystery of the ferret in Portugal. Oh no, Philomena is here. I mean, no offense, Philomena, but hopefully you won't have been tuned in when I was trying to pronounce February just now. Lisa, bon dia from a dry and slightly sunny Jersey in the Channel Islands. Good morning. Obviously a great connection between Portugal and the Channel Islands, especially Jersey, I think. Hi to you, Lisa, over there. Philomena's here. Hola, bon dia. Just seen 2 beautiful reindeers running at the back of my house. What a lovely way to start the day. Yes, I imagine there's a bit of rutting going on over there. Not in your household, Philomena, but nothing wrong with that. But yes, deer. Look out the back window and see deer running around. Isn't that fantastic? Nice one, Philomena. Muito linda. Peter, I love animals and always wanted to keep some. So here we go. Ferrets are illegal in California. I mean, this is a funny old world, isn't it? Or a funny old state of America. These are these funny things you hear about in America, like you can't save rainwater and stuff like that. It's like, hold on a minute, that must be right in the face and an affront to the libertarians and off-gridders and preppers of America who just want to live their own life, and then it's outlawed that they can store rainwater even. And here we go, another affront to freedom. You can't keep ferrets in California. I wonder why that is. You can buy a machine gun, can't you? But you can't keep a ferret. What's going on there, Hank? Please. Gary, there's a lot to be said for a whippet and a cloth cap. Yes, and little else, I suspect, if we know Gary. That's a good look for your nature rambles. Let's call them that, Gary. Just the cloth cap accompanied by a furry whippet. Very good. Gail, Carl, you forgot that. I didn't. I was trying to do it. Oh, Carl, you forgot that Alegria rhymes with bon dia. Yeah, bon dia, Alegria. As I thought I'd done it. Oh, I give up. No, I don't. As per Philomena Friday, so it's a fun rhyming morning greeting. Joyful good morning. Yeah, bon dia, Alegria. So everybody, can we switch to that? Try and remember tomorrow morning. Let's all get into that habit of, because that's a beautiful way of starting the day, isn't it? Bon dia, Alegria. Yes, I think I might have eaten it a little bit when I was trying to pronounce that. So bon dia, Alegria. I'm sure if I haven't done that right, Philomena will be right back at me there. Reindeer or no reindeer? Why do the Portuguese always go left before they turn right in their car? There's an interesting question. Okay, so a slight twist to the left before going right. It might be a remnant of the days of big turning circles, Sean, just hardwired into the genetics of the race. A good question. I'm sure Joel loves a bit of driving, and especially of a vintage vehicle. I think there'll be and other people might go, oh, yeah, I've noticed that. So go on, please, Joel. Let's have your answer to that one. That's great. Prosecco Peggy is in the house, everybody. Bon dia from the south this morning in the Algarve there. Good morning to you, Peggy. How are you doing? I've got rats, cats, fish, guinea pigs, ferrets are next on the list, says Hank. Hank is a really interesting fella, isn't he? That's quite a menagerie. Are they all coming over with you, Hank? Are you going to import, or are you going to find new homes for those creatures? That's amazing, because that's going to be quite a logistics exercise. But I know it can happen. It can definitely happen. And obviously, you're very attached, so you might be doing that. I've seen ferrets here with local hunter folk and terriers too miss having such fur butts. So are you a ferret keeper? Oh, this is an interesting. I not for one moment did I imagine I'd be talking about ferrets this morning, but there we go. Mystery solved for Hank, I think. Fiona has spotted hunting folk out with their ferrets. Probably on a lead at first, right? You take your terrier and your ferret out on a lead and then let them go to do what they do. Hank, you can get dry ferret food. So there's another clue. Yes, Hank, there are ferrets in Portugal. And here we go. Forão. Is the word for ferrets. And now you know. And I want to hear you practicing that, Hank. Tem farão as you go into the country store or the pet shop. Tem farão, asking if they keep ferrets. All right. So there you go. I think that's another good job. Well done from the hive mind here of Good Morning Portugal from Expats Portugal this morning. Hola, bon dia. What kind of small business could take off and is much needed in Portugal? What a fantastic question, DM Pedreiro. Also, I don't know if ferrets are a thing with natives. Well, we've solved that, DM. But what kind of small business could take off is a fantastic question. And some time ago on this show, I thought we should do a Dragon's Den type thing. Excuse me a minute. Let me just have a sip of my tea before we go into Dragon's Den and the like. Oh, that's delicious. Small business, tea related. I wonder. Actually, a friend of mine has launched a China, not China, not as in the it goes as in the country, but as in the porcelain products of China. They've made a really nice set of whimsical China things, teacups, little things to put your tea bag on when you've taken your tea bag out. I think teapots, all sorts of beautifully. They've got lovely line drawing, engravings on them, and sort of quite quirky and rude things on them as well. And it's called cheekymare.co. But I'm thinking, online business for me would be the way forward to test out the waters, DM, because it's going to be a tricky few years, I'm going to predict, coming out of this. We do need people to be brave enough to start businesses, absolutely, and we do need to support them when they do. I think that will be the restarting of the engine, won't it, of the economy. And I think the smaller, the more local, the better. I'm hoping we were to grab some ground back from Amazon, etc., and the big supermarkets. I would love to see business growth in that sort of area, farm shops. Local supplies, deliveries, whatever of that kind. But we could do a Dragon's Den thing on here where people come on and pitch their businesses and not get criticised necessarily. We don't need to do all that shtick, do we? And you're fired and all that nonsense, because we know where that ends. But to be supportive to people, to do a little bit of feedback, to get to come on, pitch your idea, and for this crew here, this community, to give you a bit of feedback. So answers to that one, please. What sort of businesses might take off and are much needed in Portugal? Great question, DM. Thank you. Hank, not my best Arnold. I'll try harder. No, it worked for me, Hank. I did think it was the north of England at first. It was like... by gum, I'll be back with me ferret at the beginning, but it settled well because me, I have a few impersonations on here, and I faced the criticism, the raw criticism with my impersonations. People don't hold back when you're impersonating, so I think it's brave of you, Hank. And we knew it was Arnie, so marvelous. No problem with that one, Hank, and it was hilarious. More to the point. Morning from a very grey and bit soggy Algiers. Cat the dog still enjoyed her walk, though. If you think that Feveiro is hard to pronounce. Oh, here she goes. Thanks for that. Give me one, tell me about a word that's hard to pronounce, and then give me another one that's even harder to pronounce in front of a jury of my peers here. Cabarero, that's easy. Come on, Alison. Cabarero, easy. Just, no problem for me, for a man of my pronunciation caliber. I pronounce correctly, I think. A lot of people say pronunciation, don't know, but I do believe if the Queen were to say it, one would say pronunciation. I was born in Trinidad and Tobago, says Rizal, lived in Canada, and I'm experiencing Portugal now. What a lovely life. My husband is Brazilian. I'm now learning Portuguese. I see. Marvelous. Okay. This is another mystery explained. Debbie's here, everybody. Sorry, clicked on the wrong comment there. And I'm going to have to move faster. How beautiful this is to see so many wonderful comments here. Debbie, I'll come back to you in a minute, Hank. Good morning, Carl. This is to inform you and followers here that on followers of the show, I don't like to think I've got followers like it's some sort of cult. I do like that a little bit, I'll be honest, but I don't. It's a bit uncomfortable as well. I will be giving an interview with the Portugal newspaper. Oh yes, launching Share and Care Portugal, grief support, practical advice on bereavement whilst living in Portugal. I am the founder of this group, and I'm very proud that I'm now able, along with colleagues, to offer this new service. Please look out for the written information explaining everything that we do and how we can help you in a time of need. You're not alone, and you may recall. We've spoken to Debs from time to time, and with Jacqueline as well. And we recorded a show because they both faced a very difficult bereavement situation in Portugal. And, notwithstanding the usual challenges of grief and loss, they were also in a foreign country and struggling with the culture, a different culture. And Debs is going ahead now with Share and Care to help people in such a situation so that people needn't suffer additionally to the grief and loss that they're already going through. Great work, Debs. Keep us informed of that. Really wonderful. Thank you. Pete, you probably need to get their scent glands removed. Not sure how humane that is, though. Well, I'm imagining, if I think of my own scent glands and the removal thereof, I'm imagining that is not a comfortable procedure. Can't you just use aromatherapy or something like that? If you aren't bringing pets to Portugal for normal house pets, I always recommend people pick their new pets from Canil. For those more exotic, only pet stores will have them. So Canil, there you go, Joel. Can we have a link to that? And hopefully we've got that right. Great information. Thank you, Joel. Our neighbour Mel has had 2 eagles swoop down onto his chickens. Yeesh. So I guess cats would be fair game too. There are 2 pairs living out in the valley. Well, that's enough. Pete, thank you for your lovely film that we played this morning. A sunny day in wintry CDP over there. I guess that is a hazard of living in the countryside. The chickens will have a snack. Sorry, eagles will have a snack from time to time, and anything is fair game to them, I suspect. Yikes! But that is a wonderful thing to see, and I do see that the birds of prey are pairing up. After a year of swirling in the skies alone, they're pairing up for spring, it would seem, across the valley from where we are too. So be careful. I imagine the cats kind of know that as well, right? I guess Mama Cat in the form of Gary is going to have to offer a little bit of extra protection too. I reckon that Gazbar man cave is going to end up like he's going to be like crazy cat guy maybe one day, isn't he? And he'll have a much to Linda's consternation and horror. He will be keeping the stray cats of Alvazra in the man cave. That'll be quite something, won't it? The smell of beer and cat litter in the man cave there. Different. Agreed. I always try to get mine as rescues. Too many unwanted pets already. Yeah, okay, great. That's another nice little note to make there. Hi, Fiona from Penny. I didn't know that either. I'm a clinical and analytical hypnotherapist when I'm not making jewelry. 2 very different occupations. Yes, not to be mixed up. That could be embarrassing, couldn't it? Especially when you're doing a hypnotherapy session. If you try and solder one of your clients. Indeed, mine always have been rescues or given to us by friends of the family. Yeah, our 2 dogs. One, Jimmy Choo needed a home as a puppy, and Peggy just turned up one day, covered in blood, pregnant, and under a rose bush. Like some sort of biblical story. Chickens came our way very easily. Cats have come and gone. Yeah, it's amazing. A bon dia in Flanders, in Fevereiro. I really am struggling with that, even with the phonetics. Thank you, Rizal. It is Tournai Mineral. What's that then? It is Tournai. Is that like Imbolc or something like some sort of more natural festival going on there? It is a clarity of hypnotherapy. Of course it is, Mark. That makes a lot of sense. And I think they would like that, a clarity of hypnotherapist, going back to the collective noun there. Good on you. Right, okay, I got to check which is comments across the... I saw a tip actually on YouTube the other day. And someone said, it was the people who provide this platform, StreamYard. I really love this technology. And they said, if you are getting a lot of comments, you might ask your commenters and your community to put question or Q in front of, and that helps me. So I'd appreciate that. If you have got a question, you want it to sort of be seen, put question or Q at the beginning of, well, today it's all about Ask Anything About Portugal, hashtag AAAP. Okay, so other wildlife, says Pete, we have seen around the village include otters, red deer, wild boar, mongoose, foxes, black squirrels, and badgers. Isn't that lovely over there in CDP? Another tick in the box of central Portugal as a marvellous destination. I am being a little bit partial, I think, and biased here, aren't I? I have to say, many wonderful and beautiful things are also available in the Algarve and the Alentejo and Porto in the north, just one great big lump of Porto in the north, and Lisbon and the Tejo Valley. Ribatejo, of course, tomorrow is because it's Places and Spaces Day on Good Morning Portugal tomorrow. Thomas Malloy will be with us. Fingers crossed. It's been quite a challenge tracking that fella down. He's a busy man, but we've got him tomorrow to talk about Ribatejo area. He has a Facebook group of that name. I can't remember the full name of it, but singing the praises of the Ribatejo. And we want people to sing the praises of their various regions in our best bit of Portugal battle. Of course, Prosecco Peggy representing the Algarve, and everyone else, we think, quaking in their boots and afraid to take up the challenge against her so far. But that's what we're looking forward to. And I am aware that I have been a little bit partial and biased about Central Portugal, but it is the part of Portugal I first fell in love with. Blackbirds. Jacqueline says, my Donna Jacqueline has a problem with blackbirds, worst pest, which is such a shame, but they eat all the seeds if not protected, and the seedlings. Wow, I never would have thought that about blackbirds, but there you go. Watch out for the blackbirds. Hugging chickens is fine. I'm relieved by that, I have to say. Stop it, Hank! I'm not reading that out. As the chicken doctor, I say, tell us more, Eric. He's a chicken doctor. I say, hug more chickens. Okay, I will take that prescription from you, chicken doctor. Tell us more. Are you the local man? You're Ferragudo, aren't you? Are you the man to know about chickens? Check your... Oh, he's at it again, is Joel, sending me some lovely stuff via Facebook Messenger. Not the easiest platform for me to retrieve from, Joel, but for you, I will do it. Okay, had to look, said Josh, expats everywhere this morning. Good morning to you, Josh, Kelly Sia, and Pincho, the Chihuahua. I think he's a Chihuahua, which is how I prefer to say it. Although disputed by ferret lovers, the California Department of Fish and Wildlife takes the position that escaped or abandoned pet ferrets pose a significant risk to California's rare native animals. Okay, well, that makes some sense, doesn't it? That doesn't make sense. Okay. Eric Willingham, and chickens want people to eat more fish and beef, says... Yes, I can imagine. Thank you, Hank. Possibly many of their cars do not have power steering. Danielle Breteau, beautiful name, Breteau, and Danielle, possibly French. I could surmise there. Many of their cars. This is the answer to the question: why do Portuguese drivers turn left before turning right? That's what I was thinking. Back in the day when you had when you had to really. When men were men and women were men, when it came to driving, and you really had to take your car by the wheel, and it was a workout. That's why people didn't need to go to the gym so much back in the day, is because most of their daily tasks, like driving, were quite a strenuous workout before all this sort of this power steering malarkey came along for the next generation. So that might be it. When they really had to grab the wheel, okay, quick turn left, and then swing it round because the turning circle was 50 feet or something. That might be the answer, Danielle, there. Thank you. Bon dia from Whistlepeg, Pennsylvania, from UB. Good morning to you, UB. Thanks, Philomena. That's great to know, isn't it, Hank? We have really well and truly solved the ferret mystery, but the ferret talk goes on. And the obvious answer, tying a few this is what I like, when the questions come together in an A-team kind of way. The obvious answer for a good business appears to be ferret breeding. And you'd have to have a pretty strong constitution, I think, wouldn't you, to be a ferret breeder, and good friends, from what Pete said. Hola, bon dia, quick stop as I have my second lesson this morning. Does that mean you've already had one lesson? But for what, you may ask, I'll tell you one morning. Let's guess, shall we? If he's going to be all mysterious and enigmatic like that, Owen, Philomena, Friday. Can we guess what we think Owen might be? I think he's training in brewing skills, but Madronia specifically would be my guess. Okay, Ernest Furtado. Hey, Carl. This is the other side of Ernest and Rizal clan. Hey, and Ernest. Good morning, or Ernest. I wonder. Ernest. Good morning to you. Love your name too. I love seeing people's names, and Ernest is a fabulous name. The importance of being. Of course, I'm a CBT DBT clinical. I want to go CBT DBT clinical hypnotherapist. Just getting going over here, says Fiona. Marvelous, and it is a clarity of hypnotherapist that's not been challenged yet. Expats everywhere nailed it. California is the only state where they're illegal. Doesn't seem to be much evidence they threaten agriculture, which is the reason given for why they're illegal. Yep. Okay. Ernest and Rizal. Oh, where's that gone? That comment. My goodness, lots of love you all. And Ernest and Rizal Furtado, nomad real estate investors. Well, that looks like a telly show to me. The nomad real estate investors. We're in Portugal today, looking at the for nomad real estate investors. After the break on nomad real estate investors, that's a business idea. I would love to be part of the Portugal business den. Okay, so it's a plan. Let's make it happen. Okay, come on the screen. It's easy. Talking of coming on the screen, we will come to the good news on with the lockdown numbers after we've had all this lovely conversation here. Another sip of tea. Bear with me. Not literally a bear with me. Don't have bears in Portugal, don't worry. Or do we? We've got the wolves, haven't we? Up in the north, in the Peneda Gerês, and the Iberian lynx. So who knows? Bears may return to the north of Portugal. Remember where you heard that fake news first. But people are concerned since we are the leading agriculture state. Okay, so that's about ferrets. That's a great idea, says Weave the Story, the Dragon's Den idea. Bon dia to you, Weave the Story. Yeah, let's do it. Come on the screen, very easy. You've seen people do it. I mean, we were talking to Sean yesterday, weren't we, on his phone in the house that he's looking to sell in Castelo Branco. If you missed it yesterday, we showcased a lovely property of Sean's, 60,000 euros, folks, in a beautiful village near a beautiful town in beautiful Castelo Branco. 60,000 euros. It had at least 2 buildings. 1,000 square meters of land, its own water source, a bus stop, and a public font outside. It was great. Oh my goodness. I'll do my lame flamenco, as I think somebody called it. Sorry, fruit fly, dispatching you on to another and better life. You shouldn't hesitate, should you? Cabellarero. There we go. Cabellarero. Like starting up a car, eventually it just gets a Cabellarero. There you go. Congrats, Debbie Doos, on starting Care and Share there. Fantastic. Sorry, my autocorrect doesn't like Portuguese. Thank you for that point of order, Philomena, as well. She's watching, everybody. Hello from Nashville at this early morning. Good morning to you, Michael Bliss. Talking of lovely names, Michael Bliss, what a wonderful name. Hats off, in true defense to Donna Jacqueline and Donna Debbie. That show on bereavement was informative and showed such a wonderful attitude. Absolutely, Pete. A difficult subject that we obviously don't want to talk about too often, but one that's worth. I think they absolutely were brilliant in that show, and it's one to look at, and it's informative and helpful, and we get to hear about the difficult stories that they went through, such that other people won't have to, hopefully. That's the idea going forward. So, Hank, fair is fair, though. The chickens would eat the eagles if they could, says that. He sounds like an animal communicator. Got an inside track of Dr. Doolittle there in California. I saw some ferret kits recently at a local market. Pretty colours, too. Also seen them advertised on OLX. What is a ferret kit? Is that the nice kind of harness and lead? But is there more to it with a ferret kit? Do they have a little jaunty tam o'shanter as well or something? DM Pedrero, I would like to do something back for the community. And I agree, we should be more courageous. Thank you. Absolutely, DM. Let us know. I mean, I think this is one of the great silver linings, possibly, of this horrific year we've had, is that the power of community. is clear, isn't it? We've certainly learned that in isolation. Come together as an online community here, and it's really helped me at the very least, and others say so. To have a focal point for a community and to feel that you're not alone is really important. And I would like to think as we go into restarting, recreating, let's say, the economy, that it's done at a community and on a community level, and we help each other out, because there's a lot needed, isn't there, when starting a business? You need the idea, and you need the finance, and you need the support of customers, and we can bring those things together, I'm sure, from our own community. And we've also discovered, have we not, that reliance on central government, though you might assume it, is probably not the best thing or not the only thing. Let's put it like that. It's not the only thing to assume, and other methods are needed. You know what that sound means, don't you? And we will go to Messenger. I will find that. Joel, who is that pinging the show? Philomena has sent a message in. Here we go.
Hi, just to help you, call cabeleireiro.
That's what I said. Cabeleireiro. Isn't that not what I said? I know. Look.
Hi, just to help you, call cabeleireiro.
Oh, okay. Cabeleireiro. Easy. When you know how. I would like to do something, to do something back for the community is DM sentiment there. Absolutely. I think a lot of people are thinking like that. I hope they are, DM. So thank you. So let's do it, folks. Let's get the Dragon's Den thing going. Get your ideas together. Come on. We're not going to give you a grilling and a hard time. That would be silly. We just want to get to, if people find out. I mean, it's like my friend yesterday. I spoke to him. He said, oh, yeah, my wife started a business online. She's selling this lovely China stuff. I had a look and I want to make an order. This is what we need to do, isn't it? Carl, just a normal Google search for Canil in the region city one lives will do. There you go. So Canil, that so as in canine then? Is that just to do with dogs, or is that all animals? Bon dia from Pavor de Vargim, or are you calling yourself Dr. Pavor now? Dr. Pavor de Vargim. Variable weather, says Mark up there today, alternating rain and dry periods. The weather report from Mark. Good morning to you, Mark. How you doing, mate? Penny needs to hypnotize people to make jewelry for her. Sounds like a win-win. I don't know what it was, Penny, but I just felt moved to make you some jewelry. Here it is. Thank you. Bon dia from Antonio F is here now. And a question from Rizal. What's the easiest virtual bank to deal with in Portugal? Best reports I've heard, Activo Bank. Okay, but other questions, other answers to that question, most welcome. Not sure where Doctor came from. Autocorrect can do strange and hilarious things, Mark. Thomas is here, everybody. Ribatejo Living. He's here with me tomorrow morning. Thomas, nothing to worry about, Thomas. We're going to have a fantastic chat in the morning. Just ask Josh. Josh has been on the show. Quite a few people have spoken to me from here. Mark Rigby is one of them, did his Portugal playlist. And we have, oh dear, I've upset Pincho, calling him a Chihuahua, a Yorkshire Terrier. I am so sorry. That would hurt, wouldn't it? If you're from Yorkshire and you get called a Chihuahua, that would, because it's the land of whippets and so on as well. Yorkshire Terrier, upset. And now you don't want to be upsetting a Yorkshire Terrier either, do you? I don't know what to do about that. I feel mortified. Pincho, please. Sculpa, Pincho. Oh dear, let's hope that blows over soon. Give him a treat, take his mind off things. And yeah, Thomas, looking forward to chatting to you tomorrow. Ribatejo Living is the group. If you want to have a look, if you are thinking of coming to Portugal, as many are, and who would be tuning in to ask anything about Portugal, 10 to 10, oh my goodness, come on. Then you must consider Ribatejo region area. Coming out of Lisbon and heading up north on that old road is a fantastic journey of discovery of real rural Portugal. I don't know what that road is. What is that road, Thomas? And which will take you to Golga, the equestrian capital of Portugal as well. Another hidden gem. Sorry, Pincho. When Chaz first appeared, she would. Oh, okay, this is the cat. First appeared, she wouldn't come within 20 feet of any human. But the other day, I sat on the kitchen floor, and she came and sat on my lap. How wonderful, Gary! Another animal communicator there. Okay, I'm going to crack on and get through your lovely comments here. I wish to move to Portugal, says Falguni Desai. Good morning to you. That's essentially a Peugeot 106 of my father with no power steering in it. Okay, I will show that picture before we leave today. Is that still a thing where a lot of cars lack power steering? Yes, probably. But loads of all the new cars have it, but there's still a lot of old. And I love that about Portugal. People look after their cars and keep. I still wish I had my Mercedes 190 here, but it'll be on the wheel will be on the wrong side, of course. Up until 1991, some models with no power steering. I only had two that didn't have power steering. The Peugeot my father owns, and a Renault Super 5. I had a Renault 5 with the stick shift on the dashboard. Diane Schindler, good morning from Amelia Island, Florida. Good morning to you, Diane. First truck I ever drove was an old AEC Matador, which you had to stand up at low speed to turn. Standing up to turn the wheel. That's what I'm talking about. That's a proper workout. A hawk swooped in and snagged a pigeon midair about 4 feet above my head in the center of Boston. Took it to the top of a lamppost, killed and defeathered it. It was raining feathers. Doreen, wow, what a thing to happen there. You see, in Devon, where I used to live, people would have seagulls take their ice creams. That's taking it to another level, or their Cornish pasty. We've wanted to be part of a nomad real estate investment. How cool will it be to own one of 4 homes and shift around to a different place every 3 months? There we go. We made a connection this morning, and that's fantastic. That does sound like a good idea. Although I'm getting to an age, Josh, where I'm feeling like I need to put down roots, but I do see the appeal of that. I really do. If you co-own 4 homes, let's say, around the world, and then it's like, when the music stops, you go to one of them, and the music starts again, and you go to the next one. Musical real estate. Nature is I think that's nature is mental, possibly, says Hank. John Polke, any knowledge on how schools manage dyslexia? Any knowledge on English lawyers being able to work in Portugal? Good questions, John Polke. They might be a bit specialist and worthy of expatsportugal.com/community, our forum there, which is as helpful. It's a different kind of helpful on the forum, because obviously we're here, we've got a time limit, and we're going through the questions very quickly. They will get looked at in a deeper way on the forum in Expats Portugal. And what you discover is, 3 months' time, somebody might see that question, go, oh, yeah, what you're asking about with schools and dyslexia, how they manage that in Portugal. Yes, got an answer to that. And this might come up, a long way down the timeline, where that's a bit less likely here, because you sort of blink and you miss it here on the morning show. But thanks, John, for those questions. Does anyone know anyone? Look, we're 7 minutes away from 10, and now the questions are coming in. We should drink coffee earlier in the show. Does anyone know anyone who can import things over here? I'm thinking such as from Alibaba, specifically for things relating to fencing, gardening, poultry. I love to buy local. However, some things are just way too scary prices here, and no discount offered for bulk purchasing. I'm surprised to hear that, Fiona. Might be an idea for a business someone asked about. Have you not got a country store? I've got a beautiful country store near us where you get your chicken feed. You could buy chickens there. And now they've extended it so you can buy vegetables and groceries. And I went in there the other day and I came out with a gas bottle of my Butano replacement. I bought some fruit and veg. I bought some biscuits. I bought 2 bottles of wine. I bought some hardware. As in, before you start sniggering, everybody, I bought some, like a metal bolt, and some raw plugs. All of this in the country store. And I can see they had like cozy slippers for old folks as well in there. Everything. And all of that cost me €40 or something. The country stores, Fiona, do you not have one of those near you? Jani is saying, when you give a free round in a cafe for everyone, it's called Tournée Générale. Oh, how lovely in French, but also in Flemish. So Tournée Minéral means you commit for a month to mineral water and no alcohol. Oh, that's your February, is it, Jani? Okay, interesting. That's something we've learned this morning, the Tournée Minéral. So the Tournée, yes, mineral all round. Doreen, makes one happy. They're not a pigeon. Yes, when you see that. Nesagui, a bit like, I see. Yes. Nesagui, Guinness. That was an old ad, wasn't it, Pete? A bit like Caballero. Sorry, Caballero. Oh, Caballero, Carl. I'm sure that's what I'm saying. Antonio F., you'll have to practice that. Oh, gosh. Okay, let's move on from Caballero. Caballero. No, it's a ferret kit. It's a baby ferret. Oh, very good. Very good. Ferret kits are baby ferrets. I see now. It's easy to wind me up here, isn't it? Not that I'm giving anyone ideas. I think kits is what you call ferret young. Oh, a ferret kit as in kitten. I thought that was a joke as in, it's a starter kit and it grows into... Oh, I'm easily confused and lost, aren't I? Much to everyone's amusement, I'm sure. I personally prefer to talk to trees than chickens, says Jacqueline. That never did the royal family any harm. Or did it? But I love the eggs. Tree eggs. Oh, no, chicken eggs. Okay. I thought he discovered Portuguese tree eggs. I tell you what, Jacqueline, let's put that by for our April the 1st show. Have you tried the great tree eggs of Portugal? One of the few countries where trees lay eggs, and they're very delicious. They're a little bit on the woody side, but let's resurrect that for April. Donna Jacqueline, do you fancy a hug a tree event at Garvo's? Only if people are allowed to hug each other. But yes, there you go. And I think a thumbs up for Ativo for online banking. Okay, good. No one disputing that. Can't wait to give you and Garvo a hug. We'll have to talk to Garvo about dress code. Yeah, towel, please, Garvo. He's used to people saying that. Towel, please. Apology accepted from Pinchot. So sorry. I mean, that's the worst. I mean, never mind about the pronunciation. Insulting a Yorkshire Terrier like that and calling him a Chihuahua far exceeds any crime I've committed with Portuguese pronunciation, I'm sure. So I'm glad that's successfully resolved. Okay, I'm gonna rattle through these. And Golga is Golgan. I'm getting a real bashing this morning, aren't I? I thought I was really good as well, but I guess the pride comes before a fall. Thomas Malloy, thanks, Thomas. There tend to be two types of caniche, plural of canil, kennel, municipal ones, which each municipality has. Oh, cheers, Thomas. And usually an association, a charity, generally dogs and cats. Some have a few other species. They pretty much always have Facebook pages. Search canil and town name to find them. Nice one, Thomas. Brilliant. There you go, Hank. I would like to settle in Europe with my family and have my own house. And I have my own house in Hyderabad in India, says Asan Bukhari. You're most welcome to this community. Kaylee is too. She's becoming more rooted. Okay, this is about putting roots down and not being so much of a nomad and doing the musical nomad real estate thing. It's fun being a nomad real estate investor. I'm sure it is, Rizel. Maybe come on and talk to us about that. John Polkey, in my school, there is a psychologist who always tells the teachers the best way to face who tells the teachers the best way to manage dyslexia and other issues there. So psychologists in schools there. John, hope that helps. Eric, your country store sounds like how a man named Sam Walton started. Of course, Walmart. But you know, I haven't seen a Walmart yet in Portugal. It's bound to happen, is it not? And there will be an equivalent, I guess. But the country store thing is wonderful, Eric. It really is. And I'm so glad to find it because I was used to it in Devon, in England. But so glad to find it here. And I'm surprised, Fiona, because here we go. Feed, yes, but fencing in large amounts, weed mat in big rolls, poultry housing are prohibitive if you need more than one, as are seed trays, pots and such if you're not a business yourself, so no trade price. Okay, interesting. So there is an opening for our Dragon's Den there. Bulk of such things, and delivery obviously will be a good part of that. Stephen Flood, what is the health service like for children with autism and intellectual disabilities? Talking of Dragon's Den and startups, I worked with a really good startup in one of my other incarnations who were working on an app to create a really good resource for parents of kids with autism. So there are definitely things occurring. I can't remember the name, but yes, there is a scene, if you like, or an awareness here. Currently living in Dublin, Ireland, and the waiting lists for the early intervention and school placements are shocking. I'm sure they are, Stephen. On the verge of packing up and leaving Ireland because of this. My wife is Brazilian, so Portugal is a good destination for us because of the language. Any information would be appreciated. Please, Stephen, if you're not already a member of our forum, go over there to expatsportugal.com and I'll do my best to pick that up there as well. That'll be a really good memory jogger for me. Introduce yourself on the Expats Portugal forum and ask that question, and I'm sure we will come to your assistance there. Hazel Pito, hi there. Not having been in Portugal very long, I'm still finding my way around. My question is whether I can find the equivalent to cornflour. Yes, maizena. For thickening gravy. Cornflour is yellow here, and it's flour, not cornflour. I think Joel and Philomena will be straight on that. As an American woman, writer, storyteller living in Ireland, Carla Freeman, I love Portugal. I only know Lisbon, Porto, and Tavira. Is there an area you know of where there are other writers? You must speak to our friend Katia Lima. I think, and Ali, who's here as well, who's a writer. Carla, you're most welcome. And we do have fellow writers here. Have a little go myself from time to time. I'm always good for a hug, says Gary. Towel or no towel. Nice one, Gary. And we know that, mate. Okay. Carla Freeman, sorry, can't help you there. The most famous writers I know either lived in Lisbon or have been in Porto. Fernando Pessoa and J.K. Rowling, says Joel. But yeah, ask Katia Lima, come onto the forum and again, remind me, please, there, Carla, to the person asking about practicing law. Kate's here, everybody. Practicing law in Portugal, that is now not allowed due to Brexit unless you're dealing with UK legal cases. Services were excluded from the trade agreement by the UK government. There's a sort of a cloud over that comment, isn't there? Jani Dona Filomena, how do you say Torneio General in Portuguese? Very good. Drinks on everyone, right? The drinks are on me. How do you say that in Portuguese? And yes, of course, Sam Walton, Walmart. Right, very good. I think we've resolved a few to carry over to expatsportugal.com/community to the forum, and would love to hug you, Gary, says Donna Jacqueline. There is going to be such a hug fest. I mean, that's probably the only event we need to start, isn't it? And I say it I've been conditioned now, with social distancing and masks and everything. And you're thinking, aren't you, like, if we have a hug fest, are we going to be part of a new problem? And I don't want to think like that. I really don't. But you can understand, can't you, why that's going through my mind. Here we go. Pago uma rodada. There you go, Jani. Quick answers here. This is fantastic. Thanks, Joel. Really appreciate that. Pago uma rodada. So don't be shouting that out or practicing that Portuguese in a cafe. unless you do want to buy everybody there a drink. That's fantastic, Joel. Okay, so bringing onto the screen now, at the risk of revealing some terrible adverts has happened to me recently. Lockdown week 3, I should say. Portugal's virus numbers show signs of improvement. Thank you for sending me a link to this. I had seen it from yesterday from Natasha Don in the Portugal resident, Gary. It was great news, though, I think. And we have here, Portugal virus numbers are showing signs of improvement. Today's bulletin has seen the number of people being treated for COVID-19 in hospitals drop, down 94, including 13 less in the country's intensive care units. Now, that's got to be good news. And over 17,500 people sorry, I'm still getting rid of fruit flies here. And over 17,500 people recovered from COVID infections. This latter development means the nation's active cases count has reduced to 166,000 or nearly 167,000. Deaths are still high in inverted commas there. Today's total was 260. That was yesterday, the 2nd of February. And according to expert forecasts, these kinds of numbers will persist through until at least next week. They are the harbingers of doom, aren't they, with those forecasts? But there is no denying that week 3 of this grim second period of lockdown is finally showing results. Case numbers have dropped quite markedly in all regions except Madeira, where suddenly they have almost doubled, with 110 new cases flagged since yesterday. Says Espresso, the bulletin marks the 3rd consecutive day in which deaths have dropped, albeit that they have been over 200 per day for the last 2 weeks. The 260 in the last 24-hour period represents the lowest count in the last week, says the paper, while the total of new cases up 5,500 just about is the lowest number in the last month. Okay, that is, I mean, you can't call it good news, can you, when you see suffering on that scale, but it's relatively better news and some sort of indication perhaps that the lockdown measures, all measures are working in some way, and that we can be moving towards a new and different, more open lifestyle, we hope. Expresso concludes that the large majority of deaths in a trend that has been pronounced since the beginning of this health crisis has been in people over the age of 60, particularly from 80 upwards. And then the sort of grim death toll is in there. So far, Portugal has registered a total of 13,017 deaths from COVID-19. Well over 500,000 people have been deemed to have recovered from infections, which is always a good number to share, a good data to share. And 215,536 are still under health authority vigilance at the moment. So thank you to Natasha Don, the Portugal resident, for that. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I don't know what you make of that, folks. I will take that off the screen now, but a little bit of light there. Okay, regarding Tournée Générale, yeah, that was Pago Uma. That's something to bear in mind, isn't it? When we do get, much better news, and we are circulating again as we used to, as we became accustomed to. And as for me, that's a part of Portuguese life I really miss, is the social life. At the cafe, at the restaurant. And many people will perhaps be exuberantly shouting out "Pago uma rodada" at that moment when we're all together again in a cafe. I want to, Donna Jacqueline, she's naughty, and I want to start an underground hugging movement, but don't tell anyone. You are naughty. Looking forward to chatting with you on Friday. That's our spin-off show, Life, Death, and Everything in Between, with Donna Jacqueline on Friday night. That'll be on YouTube, our spin-off show. Let's see. Let's have a quick look at what Joel has sent me. Although I have to say, Facebook not loading for me this morning, so I may not be able to do that. I mean, it is 7 minutes past 10. Perhaps you'll permit me to carry that forward for tomorrow to Places and Spaces of Portugal, a special with Thomas Malloy, Ribatejo Living is his Facebook group. I'm really looking forward to speaking to Thomas because I do love that area. It's the most wonderful drive up through it from Lisbon one day with my kids, coming through Golgão. I think I've got that right now. And just across bridges that these beautiful, what are they called? Sort of box grid bridges that you might see in the southern states of America as you drive through that Ribatejo Valley. Really, really nice. So talking to Thomas about that tomorrow. Ask Our Expats is the webinar tomorrow night. This is a similar vibe. Bring anything you didn't feel that was satisfactorily answered this morning, bring it to the webinar, and you'll have to book up for that. Go to expatsportugal.com. VIP treatment for premium members only costs €47 to become a premium member. People watching this without the sound on will be wondering why I am doing this flamenco and slapping my own face from time to time. There is a good reason for that. So the webinar tomorrow night, Ask Our Expats, the team, which includes native Portuguese people as well as expats, will be helping in a similar way to what we've done this morning. And thereafter, the Wine Club, a lovely Douro Red to taste with Frank's leadership tomorrow night. Then on Friday, Feel Good Friday, we have the most wonderful treat for you. Emma Belter will be here with Josh, her son, singing, entertaining us on Friday. It's going to be a great show. Really looking forward to that. So a really nice few days ahead. And, of course, talking to Donna Jacqueline at 8 o'clock on Friday, and then the Man Cave. The Expat Man Cave, if you've not experienced that, we have a lot of fun in our virtual local pub with Gary, who you've seen here before. If you like the cut of his jib, and others here who you've seen like Pete, come join us. Joel, as well, of course, our resident Portugueser in the Expat Man Cave from 10 o'clock on Fridays. Thank you, Rizel. Great show. Hope to have your company again. Come on the screen. Tell us more about what you're doing. Do you have vinegar on your body? Because fruit flies love it. Yeah. What self-respecting man doesn't splash on vinegar first thing in the morning? I like that. And I mix it up a little bit. Sometimes a bit of cider vinegar, sometimes a bit of non-brewed condiment. It might be balsamics if I'm really pushing the boat out. But therein lies the mystery solved. I must stop wearing vinegar. Thank you, Jacqueline, for that. Great show, says Hazel Peto. And Ginny is, yes, well done, Ginny. Still here. Another good show. Thank you very much, Ginny, and thanks for staying. And he's officially on a roll. I am. This roll must be stopped. It's 10 past 10. Take care. Bye for now. Cheers, Frank.